I still remember the night my marriage shattered. The night Amanda came home smelling different. Not of her usual perfume, but of something stronger, muskier, a scent that didn't belong to me. Her lips were swollen. Her dress was wrinkled. And when I asked her where she had been, she hesitated, just for a second. But in that second, I already knew. I knew another man had touched my wife. I knew another man had kissed the lips that once whispered I love you to me. I knew. I had lost her. Before we dive into this painful yet eye-opening story, I want to appreciate all my subscribers for your support. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to do so and turn on your notifications, so you don't miss any of our upcoming dramatic and inspiring stories. Your support helps bring more real-life experiences to light. Now, let's begin. I always believed I was doing the right thing. Providing. Working hard. Making sure my wife had everything she could ever want. A big house. A nice car. Money in the bank. But I never stopped to think about what she needed the most, me. My name is Jake Harrison and this is the story of how I lost my wife to another man. When I met Amanda, she was full of life, passionate, affectionate, and incredibly beautiful. She had a hunger for love, for connection, and I was once the man who gave her that. But over the years, my job became my priority. Business trips took me away from home for weeks at a time, and when I was home, I was exhausted. I thought she understood. I thought she would be patient. I was wrong. One evening, after returning from a 2-week trip to Chicago, I barely stepped through the front door when Amanda greeted me, not with a warm hug, but with a frustrated glare. "You're back," she said flatly. I set my suitcase down. "Yeah, flight landed a little late." She crossed her arms. "You didn't even call when you landed. Do you even realize how long it's been since we've had a real conversation? Since you've actually touched me?" I sighed, rubbing my face. "Amanda, I'm tired. I just got home. Can we not do this right now?" But she wasn't having it. "No, Jake. We need to do this right now. Because I feel like I don't even have a husband anymore. I'm just some woman waiting for a man who's never here." I didn't know what to say. I thought providing for her was enough. But to her, my absence wasn't just about me being gone, it was about the emotional distance I had created even when I was home. Unmet needs. Amanda had a high sex drive, she always had. In the early years of our marriage, we couldn't keep our hands off each other. But now? I was always too tired, too busy, too distracted. "You know what I need, Jake," she said, her voice quieter now, but filled with emotion. "And you don't even try anymore." I exhaled heavily. "Amanda, I love you. But I'm doing this for us. I work my ass off so we can have a good life." She shook her head. "I don't need more money, Jake. I need you. I need to feel wanted. I need to feel like your wife, not some afterthought you come home to when it's convenient." Her words hit me, but I was too stubborn to admit she was right. Instead of holding her, instead of reassuring her, I let my frustration win. "Maybe you should find a way to deal with it," then, I snapped. I saw the hurt in her eyes before she turned away. That was the moment I should have apologized. That was the moment I should have pulled her into my arms and made things right. But I didn't. She didn't yell. She didn't throw things. She just grabbed her purse, slipped on her jacket, and walked toward the door. "Where are you going?" I asked. "To Vanessa's," she said. Vanessa Reed was her best friend, the one person she vented to about me, I was sure. I scoffed. Running away from a conversation. That's mature. She paused at the door, looking over her shoulder. Her voice was calm, but the pain was clear. "I just need to get out of here before I say something I can't take back." And with that, she left. I didn't know it at the time, but that night would change everything. That night, she would meet him. I should have gone after her. I should have swallowed my pride, grabbed my keys, and chased her down before she got too far. But instead, I let her go. I let her walk out that door, thinking she just needed time to cool off. I had no idea she was about to make a decision that would destroy our marriage. For weeks, I didn't know what happened that night. Not until I found the messages. I wasn't looking for proof. I didn't even suspect anything at first. But one night, when Amanda was in the shower, her phone lit up. It was a message from Vanessa. "Vanessa, you never told me what happened after I left you at the bar that night." My stomach twisted. That night. The same night she stormed out of the house. I knew I shouldn't, but I opened her phone anyway. She didn't have a lock on it. Maybe she thought she didn't need one. But the moment I opened that conversation, my world started to fall apart. The texts weren't in order at first. Just scattered pieces of a night I didn't even know existed. But as I scrolled, I started putting them together. Amanda texts back, "Girl, you wouldn't believe what happened after you left." Vanessa text, "OMG, what?" Amanda text, "I met someone." I stopped breathing. Vanessa text, "Wait, met someone, comma, as in, you met a guy?" Amanda text, "Yes. His name is Malik." I gripped the phone tighter. Malik. Vanessa text and what came next made my chest tighten. Amanda text, "He was just, different, Vanessa. Handsome, tall, smooth, confident in a way that was effortless. He had deep brown skin, sharp cheekbones, and a jawline that could cut glass. His suit fit perfectly, and the way he carried himself, it was different. Commanding. Charismatic. The kind of presence you notice. The kind of man who walks into a room and just owns it. He sat next to me at the bar, started talking, and I don't know, it felt nice to be noticed for once. I swallowed hard. Noticed. Like I had never noticed her before. I kept reading. Vanessa text, "Oh, I like this." What did he say? Amanda text, "Ugh. He just, got me. He asked if I was having a rough night. Then he said, a woman like you doesn't sit at a bar alone unless something's missing at home." I felt my stomach drop. Something missing at home. Vanessa text, "And what did you say?" Amanda text, "I didn't know what to say. I just laughed." But then he looked at me, like really looked at me, and said, "If I had a woman like you, I wouldn't take a single second for granted." My head started spinning. I could picture it. My wife, sitting at a bar, wine glass in hand, letting another man feed her lines while she soaked up every damn word. I kept reading, even though every part of me was screaming to stop. Vanessa text, "Girl, don't tell me you did something crazy." Amanda text, "No. I mean, not really." My jaw clenched. Vanessa text, "Amanda." Amanda text, "Okay, fine." I let him walk me to my car. Vanessa text, and Amanda text, and I let him touch my face. I felt like I was going to be sick. Amanda text, "It wasn't a kiss. It was just, close." He held my face in his hands, and for the first time in a long time, I felt wanted. Wanted? Like she hadn't been wanted in our own damn home. Amanda text, and then I left. That's it. That's all that happened. I wanted to believe her. I wanted to close the phone and pretend none of this was real. But something told me this was only the beginning. I sat there in the dark, gripping her phone so tight my knuckles turned white. My heart was pounding so hard I could hear it in my ears. I had read the messages a dozen times, hoping, praying, that I had misunderstood. That I was overreacting. It wasn't a kiss. It was just close. I felt wanted. Those words haunted me. I knew Amanda. I knew how she worked. She never just dipped her toes into anything. If she was playing with fire, she had already felt the heat. And something in my gut told me that this wasn't over. Signs I had ignored. Looking back, I should have seen it. The small shifts. The tiny cracks forming before everything collapsed. Amanda had been different since that night. At first, it was subtle. She started taking longer to get dressed. Not for me, though. For someone else. She smiled at her phone more. Texts that she never let me see. Then, the excuses started. I'm going out with Vanessa. I need some space to clear my head. I'll be home late. Don't wait up. Don't wait up. She used to rush home to me. Now, she was telling me not to bother staying awake. And the worst part? I let it slide. Because deep down, I didn't want to believe the woman I built my life with was slipping away. Following the clues. That night, after she got out of the shower, I put her phone back exactly where I found it. I didn't say a word. I wanted to. I wanted to grab her, shake her, demand to know the truth. But I didn't. Because if I accused her now, she'd just lie. And if she was lying to me, then I needed proof. Real proof. So I waited. And it didn't take long before my patience paid off. It was a Thursday night. Amanda had been distant all day, barely saying 2 words to me. Then, around 8 p.m., her phone buzzed. She was in the kitchen, pouring a glass of wine, when I saw the screen light up from across the room. Unknown caller. But I wasn't stupid. I watched her reaction closely. The way her body tensed. The way she hesitated before reaching for it. Who's that? I asked casually, pretending not to care. She glanced at me, forcing a smile. Just Vanessa. I told her I'd call her back. She let it ring. Let it go to voicemail. But the second I turned my back, I heard it. Her footsteps. Soft. Careful. Heading toward the back patio. I followed, staying just out of sight. And when she thought I was gone, she picked up the phone. Her voice was low, barely above a whisper. But I heard every damn word. Hey, yeah, I'm alone now. My blood ran cold. I stepped closer, pressing myself against the wall. No, I can't tonight. He's home. A pause. A small, breathy laugh. I know. I miss you too. I swear, I stopped breathing. I wanted to storm outside, rip the phone from her hands, and demand to know who the hell she was talking to. But instead, I stood there, frozen, listening to my wife tell another man she missed him. And in that moment, I knew. This wasn't just a mistake. This was an affair. When she hung up, she stood there for a moment, staring at her phone. I could see the conflict on her face. The guilt. The hesitation. Maybe she was second-guessing herself. Maybe she felt bad. Not bad enough. Because a minute later, she exhaled, shook it off, and walked back inside, like nothing happened. Like she didn't just destroy me. I stood there in the dark, hands clenched into fists, rage boiling inside me. This was it. The moment I had been avoiding. The moment I had to face the truth. My wife wasn't just pulling away. She was already gone. And now, I had to decide. Was I going to let her keep lying to me? Or was I going to make her confess? I barely slept that night. I lay there in bed, staring at the ceiling, my mind spinning with every single detail I had ignored. Every late night. Every excuse. Every time she smiled at her phone like a damn teenager with a crush. And the worst part? She was right there next to me. Lying beside me, breathing softly in her sleep, as if she hadn't just whispered, "I miss you," to another man hours ago. I turned my head and looked at her. Her hair was sprawled across the pillow, her lips slightly parted, peaceful. Like she had nothing to worry about. Like I was the fool. That was the moment I knew, I couldn't stay silent anymore. I had to make her admit it. The next morning, I got up early, not because I wanted to, but because I couldn't stand lying next to her any longer. I went downstairs, poured myself a coffee, and tried to figure out how the hell I was going to do this. What was I going to say? How was she going to react? Would she lie to my face? Would she beg for forgiveness? Or worse, would she just not care? I didn't have to wait long to find out. Amanda walked into the kitchen an hour later, stretching like she had the best sleep of her life. "Morning," she said casually, heading for the coffee pot. I didn't answer. I just stared at her, gripping my mug so tight my knuckles went white. She must have felt the weight of my stare because she paused, looking at me with a small frown. "What?" she asked, pouring herself a cup. That was it. The breaking point. I set my mug down, stood up, and said the words that had been burning inside me since last night. "Who is Malik?" The second I said his name, I saw it. That flicker of panic in her eyes. The split-second hesitation before she covered it up. "Excuse me," she said, her voice forced and light. I didn't blink. "Don't do that," I said, stepping closer. "Don't play dumb. I read your texts, Amanda." She froze. I could see her brain scrambling for an answer, an excuse, a way out. I didn't give her one. "I saw what you said to Vanessa," I continued. "I know you met him that night. I know he walked you to your car. I know you let him touch you." Her mouth opened, but no words came out. And then, she did the one thing I didn't expect. She laughed. Not a full laugh. Just a small, nervous chuckle as she shook her head. "Jake, you're being ridiculous," she said, setting her coffee down. "I didn't do anything wrong." Wrong. That word sent a fire through my veins. "Nothing wrong?" I repeated, my voice dangerously low. "So I guess telling another man you felt wanted wasn't wrong?" Her lips pressed together. I stepped closer. "And saying, 'I miss you,' to a man that isn't your husband?" I scoffed. "Yeah, Amanda, that sounds real innocent." Her face hardened. The guilt flickered for a second before her walls shot up. "Oh, come on, Jake," she snapped, crossing her arms. "I was upset that night. You think I wanted to be at that bar, alone, pissed off because my husband doesn't give a damn about me?" I clenched my jaw. "You don't think I notice," she went on, her voice rising. "You're never here. And when you are here, you don't even look at me. You don't touch me. What do you expect me to do, Jake? Sit around and wait for you to remember I exist?" Her words hit like a slap to the face. She was twisting this. Turning this on me. As if her betrayal was my fault. "You're unbelievable," I said, shaking my head. "No, what's unbelievable is that you're acting like I cheated on you," she snapped. "I didn't." I barked out a bitter laugh. "You didn't." I shot back. "So tell me, Amanda, if I had been the one whispering, 'I miss you,' to another woman, would you call that cheating?" Silence. Her lips parted slightly, but she had no answer. Because we both knew the truth. The room was thick with tension. For a moment, she looked at me, not with anger, not with defensiveness. But with guilt. And that was when I knew. She had crossed the line. "Did you sleep with him?" I asked, my voice like ice. Amanda swallowed hard. I stepped even closer, forcing her to look at me. "Did you sleep with him?" Her breath hitched. And then, she broke. Tears welled in her eyes, and she dropped her gaze to the floor. And in that moment, I didn't need her to say the words. Her silence said it all. I exhaled sharply, my chest tightening. "You did," I whispered. A single tear slipped down her cheek. "Jake." I held up my hand. "Don't." I turned away, running a hand through my hair, trying to breathe through the pain splitting through my chest. I wanted to break something. Scream. Do anything to stop feeling like my whole world had just collapsed. But all I could do was stand there. Staring at the woman I thought I knew. The woman I thought I could trust. The woman who had just destroyed everything. I stood there, waiting. Waiting for her to say something, anything. But she just stood there, arms crossed, lips pressed together, eyes darting anywhere but at me. She was thinking. Calculating. I could see it all over her face. She was trying to figure out how to get out of this. "Jake," she finally said, her voice careful. "You're blowing this out of proportion." I let out a sharp, bitter laugh. "Out of proportion?" I repeated. "Amanda, I just caught you telling another man you miss him." She shook her head, sighing heavily. "I was just talking to him. That's it. It was nothing serious." Lies. Nothing serious. I stepped closer, voice dropping. "Then why the hell did you hide it?" She swallowed. "You could have told me about him," I went on. "You could have been honest. But instead, you snuck around. You sent secret texts. You." "It wasn't like that," she snapped. "Then tell me," I said, my voice calm but firm. "Tell me what it was like." She hesitated. And that hesitation was everything. I folded my arms. "Go ahead, Amanda. Explain it to me." She exhaled sharply, rubbing her temples. "I was lonely, Jake," she said finally, looking at me with tired, frustrated eyes. "Do you even realize how much time you spend away from home? Here we go. That's your excuse." I scoffed. "I work. I provide for us. That's what I'm supposed to do." "Yeah," she shot back. "And what about me, Jake? What about what I need?" I clenched my jaw. "Oh, I know what you need," I said coldly. "And apparently, you found someone else to give it to you." She flinched, but quickly covered it up. "You don't get it," she muttered, shaking her head. "Then help me understand." I stepped even closer, forcing her to look at me. "Tell me, Amanda. Did you sleep with him?" She stiffened. And then, she did exactly what I expected. She lied. "Of course not," she said quickly, shaking her head. "I would never do that to you, Jake. I didn't even blink." "You already did." Her breath hitched, but she kept up the act. "Jake, I swear." "Stop." She froze. I took a deep breath, my heart hammering in my chest. "You're lying to me," I said quietly. "And you know how I know." She swallowed hard. "Because if it wasn't true, you would have screamed at me by now," I said. "You would have been furious that I even accused you. But you're not." She opened her mouth, then shut it. I stepped even closer, barely a foot between us. "Tell me the truth," I whispered. "Or I swear to God, I'll find it out myself." She inhaled shakily. "Jake." I waited. Watched as her shoulders tensed. Her fingers clenched. And then, she cracked. Her face crumpled, and she let out a choked sob. "I didn't mean for it to happen," she whispered. My stomach dropped. I felt my entire world tilt. I staggered back a step, like she had just punched me in the gut. "You." I swallowed hard. "You really did it?" She covered her face with her hands, tears slipping through her fingers. "I'm sorry, she choked out. I let out a shaky laugh, running a hand through my hair. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't think. I just kept staring at her, my wife, as she stood there sobbing, finally admitting the truth that had already shattered me. I wanted to scream. I wanted to demand every single detail. When did it start? How many? So I stayed, long enough to see what would happen next. Amanda begged. She cried. She swore it was a mistake. She said she never loved Malik, that it was just a moment of weakness. It didn't mean anything, Jake, she sobbed, gripping my hands. Please, don't throw us away. I wanted to believe her. But how do you believe someone who's already lied to you? How do you trust the same mouth that whispered, I love you to you at night, while whispering the same words to another man? I tried. 4 weeks, I tried. Tried to see if I could forgive her. Tried to make myself believe that one mistake didn't erase years of love. But every time I looked at her, all I could see was him. Every kiss felt wrong. Every touch felt tainted. She could cry. She could beg. But she could never undo it. And Malik? He didn't fight for her. He never called. Never showed up. Maybe he knew what it was, just an affair, just something temporary, just a secret hidden behind stolen nights. Maybe he had done this before and knew exactly how it would end. So one morning, I packed my bag. Amanda stood in the doorway, tears running down her face. Jake. She whispered. I sighed, gripping the handle of my suitcase. You want the truth? I asked, looking at her one last time. She nodded. I swallowed hard. I don't hate you, I said. I just don't love you the same way anymore. Her breath hitched. And that's why I have to go. Then I walked out. And this time, I never looked back. Amanda begged, but it wasn't enough. Some things can't be undone. Malik never fought for her. He moved on like nothing happened. For me I tried, but the love was broken. I couldn't stay in a marriage built on lies. In the end, I left, because sometimes, leaving is the only way to heal.